right, welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. And I am Dorothy Dorton with AARP Alabama. I'm the Associate State Director of Outreach for Lower Alabama. And we are shifting gears from census and grandparents' resources and talking about something kind of near and dear to my heart personally, at the Alabama coasts and the sea turtle conservation. In Alabama, we are extremely lucky to have an extensive river system that throughout the state that actually flows down to some of the most beautiful white beaches in the world. And these rivers, deltas, and the coast have some of the most diverse wildlife in the United States. And so it's really all of our jobs in the whole state of Alabama to protect this home of ours and conserve this flora and fauna down here that thrives on our coasts and our riverbanks. So please, as we go along today, feel free to ask some relevant questions in the comments, and we'll try to address these as we go through the broadcast. And so we'll also be showing some slides today that have some really important information and pictures on them, and we'll be sure to put those in the Facebook comments after the stream. And today I am very pleased to be joined by Mark Birdie, the Executive Director of Alabama Coastal Foundation. And Mark and his team really work tirelessly to protect our coast and the precious lives that live here. And life that lives here, and particularly, especially during this season, the sea turtle nesting season. And so it's imperative that we keep a lookout for these really precious nests and these little hatchlings. And Mark, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it is sincerely my pleasure. We are so glad to partner with AARP of Alabama on this, and we love your Wisdom Wednesdays.
Well, thank you. And it's been a pleasure. Mark and I have worked together through the nonprofit realm for years. And so I'm always in awe of what you and your team do and accomplish every year. And I know there's a lot, but can you tell us a little bit about what ACF does and all the programs you manage?
Absolutely. Well, we are a statewide organization like y'all, and we have 5 full-time staff and 2 contractors in both of our coastal counties, and our whole effort is to improve and protect our coastal environment through cooperation, education, and participation. When we say cooperation, that just means we work with individuals, other nonprofit groups, the governmental sector, whether that's local, state, or federal, the private sector, small business, big industry. We don't care who you are. One of our board members called it inclusive environmental stewardship. So we don't care what political affiliation you are, as long as you can do something to improve and protect our coastal environment, we're going to work with you. And then our education, we do K through 12 as well as adult education. If you know of any lawyers out there who need real estate and real estate agents who need their continuing education units, we have a wetland compliance workshop next month they can sign up for through our website, joinacf.org. Thank you for putting that on the ticker tape there. And then so our cooperation's where people get the awareness, education's where they get the understanding, and then the participation part of our mission statement's really where we shine. Gives the people meaningful volunteer experiences to do something about it. It's great to learn and know, but if you don't actually put that into action, it falls on deaf ears. And so we have I always say that we have a fantastic staff. But they give very good experiences to our volunteers, because about 90% of the work that gets done at the Coastal Foundation is because of our fantastic volunteers and our partners.
Absolutely. And I know y'all do so much with the volunteers. You participate in the Alabama Coastal Cleanup every year. And one of the things that I'm always amazed at is whenever there's a festival like the Hangout Festival or Mardi Gras, these huge things, you've got your volunteers out there making sure that recycling is being picked up, all of those beer cans and bottles and all of that stuff that we all like to have fun with and then kind of forget about. Y'all are there to clean that up. So that's a really big piece of it, and I really appreciate all you do.
You're very welcome, and I know y'all are good volunteers base for doing that. So we thank y'all again for being a part of that. So.
We do. We're very fortunate to have some of our great volunteers too. So thank you for that. And what I think it's important for us to reiterate that while you are the quote unquote coastal foundation, the conservation of our coast and waterways is really for every Alabamian's responsibilities. You know, we've got the 5 rivers that flow into our delta, which flows into the bay and then flows into the Gulf and then flows into the ocean. And that's along our coasts, you know. So a lot of that stuff, whatever comes down from those rivers, winds up down here on the coast. And I know we were talking about the sea turtle conservation, and it's sea turtle season now, and that's your Share the Beach program. And could you tell us a little bit more about the Share the Beach program?
Absolutely. And just to go back to your, the state seal has rivers in it, 132,000 miles of streams and rivers in the state of Alabama. So that is, that all flows into from the state all the way down into Mobile Bay into the Gulf of Mexico, which provides 40% of the seafood for our entire country. So
Oh, wow.
it's a very important thing to keep it healthy and clean. But in 2018, the Alabama Coastal Foundation, we've been around for 27 years. We've been approached 3 different times from other groups that say, hey, we like what you're doing. Why don't you take over our X or Y or Z program? And that rarely happens in the nonprofit sector. And we've been very, very blessed to basically have that cooperative spirit. And the Friends of the Bon Secours National Wildlife Refuge was the group that actually had the Share the Beach, Alabama's sea turtle conservation program, and that's been around for 18 years. They approached us actually in 2016 when we were kicking off our oyster shell recycling program. We said, "Hold on one second, let's try to figure this out together." In 2017, so
Right.
officially in 2018, January of 2018 is when that program came over to us, and so we've been running it for 3 different sea turtle seasons, which is May through October, just for folks to know that the nesting season. But the fantastic thing is that program came with some very great and dedicated volunteers. It was 100% volunteer up until when we started it, and we started paying the director, who is now Sarah Johnson, who is doing a phenomenal job. But we also have a biologist that we hired. And just for your benefit, when we put the job announcement out there, we got applications from literally across the world, Italy, New Zealand. We've
Wow.
gotten whatever, but we hired somebody who was she's a doctor, and she got her grad schooling from UAB and had been to our coast. And Elizabeth Bevan is her name. She is
Awesome.
fantastic, and y'all, we'll be able to do some more things later on to make sure your members know and get to meet her. But she is
Absolutely.
fantastic. And we've got great team leaders who are over the 51 miles of beach line, that coastline that we have at Alabama, to help organize all the volunteers who do those patrols.
That's amazing. That's so cool. And I've been very, very fortunate to grow up here down on the coast and spent many, many, many summers on the beaches. And my mom was even very fortunate to grow up on the beaches in the summer. And she even tells me when she was a little girl, she remembers very clearly helping baby sea turtles get to the surf and scaring the seagulls away. And at that time there were people could drive on the beach, so they were helping them like over the treads of the truck,
Tracks,
treads and
yep.
everything, tracks. Yes. So it was one of those where it was a different time, and of course the beach is much busier. Seems like people have discovered our hidden jewel down here of our coast in Alabama, and so it's much busier than it was 50, 60 years ago. And so there's a lot more, I'm sure there's a lot more challenges for the sea turtles and the babies and the moms who come to nest. What are some of these challenges that they're facing today on our beaches?
Absolutely, and I've gone to the vacationed on the Gulf of Mexico since I was 5 years old. I still remember, sitting out in the back porch looking at a thunderstorm in the distance, and my dad
Yep.
explaining to me, counting the numbers, just kind of know how far away it's so. And
Yeah.
I know so many people do have great, beautiful memories of the beach. But yes, the sea turtles, they've been around for 200 million years, but we've started seeing some negative impacts from us humans,
Hmm.
and most of that is based on development that we've put on the coastline. So our impacts that we try to educate people about, the whenever you have development on the coastline, if you don't have sea turtle friendly lights, and those are done within a particular wavelength that don't help to disorient the mama turtles when they come up to nest,
Right.
and then hatchlings to go the opposite direction. They'll always try to go towards the light, where the moonlight
Mm-hmm.
is trying to get them into the Gulf, and others
Yeah.
lights are out there that are disorient them. So we try to educate people about making sure their lights or the beach is dark, and that includes flashlights,
Mm-hmm.
those white flashlights, as well as a lot of different yes, those right there. You can see the good
Very
flashlights are
cool.
those amber ones, and then the white ones are really distracting to turtles. A mama turtle's
Mm-hmm.
not going to come up from the Gulf of Mexico to lay a nest, and when they see all those different lights out there. But you're showing one of our things that
Yep.
for that Share the Beach actually just 1 week ago announced that we have a new flashlight that has been tested to not to distract sea turtles. The amber red web flashlights that are made by Maglite. Those are very durable. They're, I think, drop resistant for 3 feet, or no, 2 meters, and they're water resistant, and they're very, very durable ones. But those types of flashlights are acceptable. You're never supposed to shine a flashlight into any living creature's eyes. So don't do that. But anyway, that's one of the things that we try to educate folks, that they could do that or retrofit their homes with the appropriate light bulbs and light fixtures, so that does not. That's one of the major impacts that we
Right.
have. But there's other ones
Right.
as well, like trash, and
Mm-hmm.
I could speak more about that, but I know that
Yeah.
we have a limited amount of time here, so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's right. Like the trash and the just the like we were talking about the plastic bags
Oh
that
yeah.
they mistake for jellyfish and stuff like that. And I know, especially with all the condos and everything, with the lights from the balconies and stuff, that can be really distracting.
Right.
And one of the things that I thought was really cool that I got to witness myself just in August. I was down at the beach with my family, and I was sitting on the balcony early that morning, and I got to see the group of Share the Beach volunteers in their bright green shirts, and they kind of all went over to this one spot, and they left and then came back, and the next thing you know, they had up these stakes with the green here, and that was showing there was a turtle had laid its nest overnight there. And so that was really exciting to see, and really good to know that they are keeping a lookout for it, and they are marking those nests. So if you see something like that on the beach, just leave it alone. It's all good. It's some little sea turtles getting ready to hatch. So I know we did mention too, the Hurricane Sally just came through. And so that was pretty devastating, I think, to some of the nests. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We had the season goes from May through
Mm-hmm.
October, so it was not as many nests that were. I think there were
Mm-hmm.
19, but we did have a couple survive.
Yeah.
I will let you know, and your viewers know, that we actually took a video of, again,
Mm-hmm.
infrared camera of one of those nests coming, or bridging out all these hatchlings coming out. It is very heartwarming. It's 3 minutes of joy and bliss that we took. Our Share the Beach director took 3 days ago. So I can send that link to you so you can share it with
Yes.
your members. It is, if you're looking for something of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And just going back to the bags, if you need one more reason why you shouldn't get one of those plastic bags from the grocery store, those sea turtles do, if they see something like that in the water, which a lot of times they go, get blown in, they think it's jellyfish. They think it's food, and so they'll try to digest it, and then they can't eat. So it's we're giving all AARP members, anybody who signs up for our free newsletter, y'all can get a drawing for one of 5 free of tote bags, ACF tote bags.
Nice.
Turtle on there, but you can go to our website before midnight tonight, joinacf.org, to sign up. We
Great.
don't give away or sell any of our contact information, just to make sure everybody knows that. But tell all your friends who are AARP members only,
Mhm.
so that they can sign up for that. But then they can get our monthly newsletter as well. But yes, the
Awesome.
other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, that if you ever see somebody digging a big hole in the beach when you're down here vacationing between May and October, just ask them to fill it up before they leave, and make sure that they take all their trash. It's all the stuff that we were taught when we were younger, but
Mhm.
those holes are not only a thing that sea turtles can get trapped in and not be able to move, but it hurt our volunteers too. We had somebody
That's
last
true.
year who had a severe sprain because somebody left a big dark, big gaping hole. And people, I
Yeah.
think a lot of those vacationers don't understand that that does have a negative impact not only on our sea
Yeah.
turtles, but also on the human
Right.
safety as well. So we just try to encourage people to do the right thing, and before they leave the beach, bring up their stuff so that if they left their tent out there,
Mhm.
it's probably going to get pulled into the Gulf of Mexico, and
Right.
some trash
The
our Gulf.
tides. Yep.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
but B, it might block a sea turtle mama from coming up to try to nest.
Yeah.
And we want to do as much to share the beach with everybody. And our volunteers are
Right.
out there daily talking with people, but it really would love to have the help with the other public to be able to say, hey, when you're done
Yeah.
with that, that's a great hole, but make sure you fill it in, or make sure you take your stuff up every night. It's not that difficult to do. So
That's great information. I'm going to pop this up here real quick and show again a little bigger your joinacf.org, and you can sign up for that newsletter. And like Mark said, they're generously going to be giving away 5 of those reusable bags to AARP members who sign up before midnight tonight, and that's really cool. Those are great. And again, they're the newsletter. I get it, and it's really informative. And like you were talking about earlier, that sea turtle nest video was actually in your latest newsletter that you sent. And I will post that in the Facebook comments, that YouTube link afterwards. It is precious just to look at and to see. And it's definitely a sign of hope after Sally and
mm.
all the devastation of Sally. It's a really good thing to kind of warm your heart and know that things are going to be okay. So Mark, you've given us so much great information. Are there other ways people can get involved? What can they do to get involved? Not just with the sea turtles, but also with what you do in the area. Can you tell us a little bit about what they can do?
Absolutely. When we have, again, the cooperation, education, participation, there's something that people can do from any one of those things. We always look for good retired teachers to help with our education programs, which a lot of them we're doing online. But
Mm-hmm.
our Bay Buddy program, first through third grade, each one of those is focused on a different species, like turtles or oysters. So we do have different things for people to engage from wherever they are in the state of Alabama to learn about our coastal environment. Our estuary corps, our middle school career awareness program, so try to give those middle school students ways to think about what career paths that they might be able to do. And then our Castle, our Coastal Alabama Service Learning for the high school students. So if you have any former high school teachers, to help to connect them wherever they are in the state, there's going to be something good, a service project, whether it's a cleanup or to helping with recycling. There's always something that people can do to help our coastal environment. Wherever they are, they're making a
Mm-hmm.
positive impact downstream. So that's why we always try to focus on our outreach efforts.
That's awesome. And I know that you do have some events. I know right now with the pandemic and kind of the craziness, but y'all do have some events that are throughout the state that connect to your coast, for instance. And that's something that you can get more information about if you sign up for the newsletter. It's always got good stuff. And
We do, and
Mark and
they're all
yeah,
throughout the state, as well as we
yeah,
actually have our virtual. We just yesterday announced that our cocktails for the coast, which we always do at Five Rivers, it is going
yes,
to be virtual because we everything we do is based on science and facts, and so we try to make sure we don't perpetuate the COVID-19 pandemic, and so we're
right.
doing that 100% virtual. It's going to be 1 hour. You can do it from the
Mm-hmm.
comfort of your own home. And we use a secure system just like this so that it's a good experience for everybody. But we just
Mm-hmm.
released that. People will be able to get in a drawing for some of the flashlights that we have for the sea turtle friendly flashlights for signing up for that as well. So, but we just announced that. Again, you can participate that from wherever you are in the state of Alabama.
That sounds like so much fun. And I've actually been to that event for a couple of years now, and it's always a great time. So I'm looking forward to seeing it virtually too and having my own cocktail from home.
There you go.
Mark, is there any other information you want to share? Just again, join acf.org. And, I'm sure you and I are probably going to be talking again on a Wisdom Wednesday about livable communities. That's a whole nother thing that you do along with AARP. And, we're just so happy to have you on today. Thank you.
Well, absolutely a pleasure. And join ACF.org, as you mentioned, is the main website. If people do want to learn specifically about the Share the Beach program, they can go to sharethebeach.com and it'll bring them up to that program. It's such a fascinating thing to learn. You're in your home anyway, so take a moment to learn a little bit more. Tour on the websites that we've got. We've got a lot of different that inclusive environmental stewardship means that we're trying to draw as many people as we can for whatever paths that they would like to do, and give people personalized options to be able to help out. So that's one of the things. And again, we have a fantastic staff, but it's only because of our volunteers that we are able to get as much done as we are able to every year. So and having great partners like y'all is definitely a part of that too. So we appreciate this opportunity to talk with your members.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate everything you and your staff and your volunteers do. It's a lot of work and you do it well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And all right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and end our broadcast in a little bit. And before we do, just be sure to stick around and watch our exit video. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up in the next week, and in October especially is going to be fun. We've got a new trivia night. We've got yoga now. So please stick around and watch our quick video on that. Next week for Wisdom Wednesday, we are going to be talking with Emily Blavos. She's the executive director of the Alabama Folklife Association. And she is going to talk about how you can share and preserve your folk life stories from Alabama. It's going to be another fascinating, great broadcast, so we can't wait to see that. Again, I want to thank Mark Birdie with Alabama Coastal Foundation so much. I will upload, again, those slides that we showed you earlier, and also that precious, precious video of the turtles hatching. Once again, thanks for joining us today, and stay healthy and stay wise, my friends.